Last week at Bellator 33, in front of a packed house in Philadelphia, Bellator lightweight champion Eddie Alvarez proved once again why he's viewed by many as MMA's best lightweight in one of the most action-packed fights of the year. And undefeated Olympian Ben Askren showed why he's recognized as one of the fastest rising forces in the sport as he captured the Bellator welterweight world championship. Tonight, the Bellator cage returns to the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel with 2 world championships on the line. Greatness will be defined as the top pound-for-pound female fighter in the world will be decided in the showdown of the Bellator Championship. MMA's most dominant fighter, 22-0 Japanese sensation Megumi Fujii, looks to maintain her place as the greatest female fighter in the world. But devastating striker Zoila Warrior Princess Frausto has plans of her own to become the first ever Bellator Women's World Champion. 2 explosive strikers collide, with only one emerging as the Bellator middleweight world champion. The most devastating knockout finisher in mixed martial arts today, Hector Lombard, defends his Bellator middleweight world title for the first time against dangerous Season 2 champion and feared Russian striker Alexander Shlemenko Fujii. Frausto, Lombard, Shlemenko. Season 3 concludes with Bellator 34 right now.
We welcome you live to Hollywood, Florida, our host tonight for Bellator Fighting Championships. This evening we're in the greater Miami, Fort Lauderdale metropolitan area at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino for Bellator 34, which features 2 Bellator world title fights. Over the course of Bellator's 3rd season, we've traveled to 9 cities across the United States, showcasing mixed martial arts in front of frenzied and passionate crowds. From Chicago to New Orleans, historic theaters to outdoor venues, Bellator Fighting Championships is presented live MMA every single week. In Season 3, Bellator has crowned Zach Makovsky as the World Bantamweight Champion, and Cole Conrad is the World Heavyweight Champion. In perhaps Bellator's top fight of the year, Joe Warren knocked out champion Joe Soto to take the Bellator 145-pound world title. And last week in Philadelphia, Ben Askren defeated champion Lyman Good to become Bellator's new world welterweight champion. And Bellator world lightweight champion Eddie Alvarez stopped Roger Huerta in a truly dominant performance. Glad you're with us, everyone. With Jimmy Smith, I'm Sean Wheelock. So, Jimmy, tonight, sadly, is Bellator's final event of 2010.
But it's a great show. 2 belts on the line, including the middleweight title. 2 belts in Bellator have been defended this season unsuccessfully. Both times, the challenger has won. Now, Hector Lombard is going to be defending. Can he win? He certainly thinks so.
A total of 3 main fights tonight, Jimmy, here at Bellator 34.
Well, we start off with a feature fight at 185 pounds. Dragan Tesanovic from Serbia, a stand-up specialist. He has faith in his knockout power. Mike Bernhard, well-rounded, a jiu-jitsu brown belt, good wrestler, good stand-up. He thinks he should be the favorite. He wants to spoil the debut. The best pound-for-pound female fighter in the world, Megumi Fujii, an incredible 22-0, has looked so dominant in Bellator. Zoila Frausto, she has faith in her knockout power. She's more confident than I've ever seen her. She says, I am making history tonight, but she needs a perfect game to do it. What can you say about Hector Lombard? 2 fights in 2010 for Bellator, 44 combined seconds. He has been a monster at middleweights. His opponent, Alexander Shlemenko from Russia, like most Russian fighters, he's not intimidated at all. He said, I'm coming in here to take the belt. He's coming in to have the best fight of his life. Will it be enough? We'll have to see.
We're just moments away from the start of Bellator 34 and our first fight of the night, live from Hollywood, Florida.
Coming up, fast-rising Serbian Dragan Gagi Tesanovic puts his undefeated record on the line in a middleweight showdown with knockout artist Mike El Gringo Diablo Bernhard. This is Bellator Fighting Championship.
Mike Bernhard versus Dragan Tesanovic.
Now, Tesanovic coming in with the hype, but Bernhard, I think, has a chip on his shoulder. He said, I'm out for the upset. Tesanovic versus Bernhard. Dragan is a stand-up guy. He has excellent strikes and will only grapple if he has to. That may be a problem against the Abilene brother brown belt. Bernhard thinks he is the favorite. You saw in that clip, he was extremely confident. In the interview, he says he thinks his skills will spoil Dragan's U.S. debut. Chasing the storm. The man fighting for the middleweight title tonight was an unknown European fighter at the start of last season. Can Dragan follow his path in 2011? We'll find out tonight.
We now send it inside the Bellator cage to Michael Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bellator Fighting Championships tonight from Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida. Tonight, the Bellator Season 3 finale with 2 world titles on the line tonight at Hard Rock Live. Bellator 34 is brought to you by Everlast and FullTiltPoker.net. Learn, chat, and play with the pros. We begin the evening with a special feature, 3 5-minute rounds in the middleweight division. And now introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. He wears the white at 6'3", weighing in at 185 3/4 pounds. With a wrestling and boxing background, the freestyle fighter brings a professional record with 8 victories, 6 by knockout, 1 by way of submission against 2 defeats. Representing Freestyle Fighting Academy and fighting out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, introducing Mike El Gringo Diablo Bernhard. And across the cage, his adversary fighting out of the blue corner. He wears the black at 6'2", weighing in at 185 1/2 pounds. Tonight, making his U.S. debut, the submission wrestler with knockout power brings an undefeated professional record of 7-0, with 5 of those victories by way of knockout. Representing Jardushan Silny and fighting out of Belgrade, Serbia, presenting Dragan Gagi Tesanovic. And the referee for this contest, Troy Wall.
Fighters in the ring. Fighters in the ring. Gentlemen, we all know the rules. I want a good, clean fight. Touch gloves, go back to your corners, get ready to rock and roll.
This fight is under the unified rules of combat. It is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Elbows to the head are allowed, both standing and on the ground, and there is no kicking or kneeing the head of a grounded opponent. Bernhard in the white trunks. Tesanovic in the black trunks.
Guys,
Troy Watt is the referee.
Are you ready? Fight, are you ready? Fight, are you ready? Fight!
The bell in round number 1.
Bernhard was very adamant. He said Tesanovic starts off slowly. I want to push the pace.
Tesanovic, new to MMA, did not even start training in the sport until 2006.
Like the way Bernhard's throwing his jab out there. A little loopy with the right hand, but he's keeping that jab pumping. Something not a lot of guys do in MMA.
Bernhard started wrestling at the age of 12, started BJJ at the age of 18. Bernhard telling us in his fighter meeting that his goal was to take Tesanovic down and then work for ground and pound rather than for subs.
He said he did want to test his stand-up a little bit. You can see him doing that here. Find out if that's a smart path in a little bit.
Tesanovic, 7-0 in his pro MMA career. Just the second time that he has fought at middleweight. Jimmy, and we know this a lot from European fighters. He walks between 200 and 205 pounds. Other than his last fight, a victory versus Gregor Erb in this weight division, his other fights were 205 pounds at light heavyweight. A lot of European fighters, they just get on the scale. They fight at what they walk.
They just don't cut weight a whole lot. I mean, you and I have done it. I don't know how many fights in Eastern Europe and Russia, and they just step on the scale 2 or 3 pounds lighter than their natural weight. Oh, good left hand.
Left hand by Tesanovic. The shot and a takedown by Bernhard.
A good shot, but Bernhard taking advantage, getting the takedown. You can see the mentality here. Tesanovic is just trying to struggle back to his feet, has no interest in playing on the ground.
Knee by Bernhard.
Good job getting back to his feet.
Tesanovic telling us he's much more comfortable standing than on the ground. He feels he's a much better kicker than a puncher.
Well, he can say that, but that was a nice left hand he caught Bernhard with coming in. That's the problem, is Bernhard was coming in with punches. You saw that from the beginning of the round, coming in kind of wild.
Knee by Bernhard. Getting not just the U.S. debut in MMA for Dragan Tesanovic. First time he's been in this country. He arrived from Belgrade, Serbia on Tuesday morning. His previous pro MMA fights, Jimmy, in Serbia, Slovenia, and Bulgaria. Sounds a lot like our old M1 travel schedule.
Sounds exactly like it. Fond memories I have of Eastern Europe.
Knees by Bernhard.
Nothing I'm going to talk about on air, though.
Probably for the best.
Probably for the best. But good job trying to use the knees to eat up the thighs of Tesanovic, but not a lot of action here. Crowd kind of getting on him. You see, Tesanovic had a very lukewarm reception by the crowd very much behind the American.
Okay, stop!
All things being equal, they're going to root for the hometown boy.
Not enough action for the Vikings of referee Troy Waugh. Centering restart. Tesanovic wants to throw the head kick. He made that clear. A right-handed, clipping right hand by Bernhard.
Bernhard moving in behind those punches. He wants this clinch. This is the range at which he is most comfortable. He wants the takedown, but to get in there, he's throwing a lot of hands. Throwing a little bit wild.
Bernhard fishing for the outside trip, couldn't find it. Jimmy, you don't quite feel the way about the great sport of soccer that I do, but I will tell you that MMA fighters, and we've seen a few that have come from the soccer background, they all have excellent stamina and excellent balance.
Great conditioning. Those guys can run forever.
Go, gentlemen, improve your position.
Final minute of round number one.
Once again, we're ending up here against the cage. Knees to the ribs, knees to the thighs.
Both fighters throwing knees in that sequence.
Bernhard not really committing to that level change.
Okay, stop!
Crowd starting in with the USA. You know who they're behind.
Fine, you ready?
And a centering restart ordered by referee Troy Waugh. While doing his best to keep this fight moving. Head kick thrown by Tesanovic and missing. Closing seconds of round number one of this Bellator special feature fight in the middleweight division. We will go to round two.
Good. You okay, Mike? I'll give you some extra time if you need it, okay?
I got it. Take him out, please. You got it? Okay, go ahead, drink your water. Listen to Marty.
Last kick was low. Up, okay? You okay? Okay.
ne zaleči su udarce. Nasi ga po lovu kikovima lagano, znači ga dobiti dolje. Može. Šusti. Ne daj mu desnu ruku. Izađi iz centra, tako puni puča. Samo puni puča. Puni puča.
We see that left hand from Tesanovic.
Seconds out!
Bang! Right here on the chin as Bernhard was coming in. Just wasn't protecting, a little wild with the punches. That was the best punch, I believe, of the first round and of the fight so far.
I'm going to call time, okay?
But very close first round.
Timekeeper! Time!
Time has been called before the start of round number two by referee Troy Waugh. At the end of round one, Waugh detected a low kick thrown by Dragan Tesanovic. Waugh now feeling that Bernhard needs more time from that low kick.
Well, you have to remember, there's only a 1 minute break in between rounds. You're allowed to have 5 minutes. Let's see if we can get a shot of that. That certainly wasn't it. Let's see here.
You all right?
Bang, right on the cup.
You ready? You ready?
Bad low shot. And only 1 minute in between rounds. You're allowed 5. Good call by the referee. Excellent refereeing.
Time in now, round number two. Mike Bernhard is in the white trunks. Dragan Tesanovic is in the black trunks. Jimmy, how do you have this scored through round one?
Very, very close first round. I give the slight edge 10-9 to Bernhard based on aggression, based on his ability, his ring control, cage control, whatever you want to call it. He's dictating where the fight goes. Got a takedown, very close round though. I think Tesanovic did a little more damage.
Tesanovic, good body kick there.
But who knows how the judges will see it. And I see what Tesanovic means. I think his kicking is better than his punching. Very powerful kicks, very fast as well. Now, one thing Tesanovic isn't doing is firing very many low kicks. A lot of his kicks are to the body. There's one there, but a lot of his kicks have been to the body and to the head. Now going down to the legs. I think that's a good strategy against the wrestler.
That hit kick landed in the left hand. Bernhard takes a big step back.
I think it hurt his eye, maybe nicked his eye because he's rubbing his eyelid. If the referee doesn't say something, that's a mistake by Tesanovic, in my opinion. If the referee doesn't stop you, keep on going. Any fighter would tell you, if a guy's pawing at his eye, that is not my problem. Certainly not an illegal strike. It might have cut his eye, got the eyelid, but Tesanovic being quite the sportsman and stopping right there. We'll see it here.
Doctor, look at it, you okay? Make sure you're 100%. Okay? Stay right there.
Nice high kick. That was on the jaw. I don't think that would have caused any damage to the eye. But Tesanovic being quite a sportsman, stopping that when he saw him pawing at his eye, when he did not have to. Oh, good exchange there. Low kick for a right cross.
Big right hand thrown by Bernhard. Did not want to take much time out. Said the eye was okay to referee Troy Waugh. Resumption of round number 2.
Similar situation, Tito Ortiz, Chuck Liddell. Chuck saw him swiping that eye and swarmed an attack, knocked him out.
Real bounce in the step and in the stance of Dragan Tesanovic.
Well, I think he's confident in his stand-up. You know, a lot of times you feel a guy's power in the first round, you think, that's all he's got. I think I'm the better striker, and it adds a lot more bounce, a lot more energy and confidence to a guy, and I think that's what we're seeing in Tesanovic.
Inside kick a moment ago by Bernhard.
Okay? You okay? Stop.
Another problem with the eye. This time it's Tesanovic. That's one of the things about the MMA gloves. It's easy to get those fingers in the eye. Telling the referee, keep your hands closed, but, you know, they don't have to. Certainly not a rule. Good leg kick. I like the leg kicks by Tesanovic, especially against a guy when you're southpaw and he's orthodox. The meat of that inside leg is there all day. Just like Alvarez Huerta.
So much bounce in the step of Tesanovic.
Oh, good straight left. That was a money shot.
Best punch of his round, certainly of this fight for Dragan Tesanovic.
He's just timing that aggression of Bernhard. I think he's got timing on his punches. He sees when he throws that right, very loopy, and he's fitting that left hand right in the middle.
Bernhard missing with the right hand. Bernhard again coming forward.
Another good left.
Knee by Tesanovic.
Now we'll see if those leg kicks pay dividends in positions like this where you need that lead leg, you need that power underneath you to use the clinch, to drop for your double leg, to get your takedown. Let's see if it slows down the takedown of Bernhard.
Coming up after this fight, Bellator will crown its first ever female MMA world champion. The final of Bellator's inaugural women's 115-pound tournament. Zoila Frausto versus Megumi Fujii. Deep in the round number 2 of this Bellator special feature fight in the middleweight division. Mike Bernhard now in the top position. Dragan Tesanovic closing guard.
That was a really nice outside trip. Tesanovic with that closed guard, now opening it up. He's being mobile on the ground. He's not sitting there waiting. He's going for what he wants. A bad idea putting that left leg underneath, I think. That's letting Bernhard pass to that weak side now. Now in half guard.
Very loose half guard held by Tesanovic.
Good pass. Now Bernhard inside control. What can he do with it? Only 39 seconds left.
You can see that Bernhard wants to step over with the left leg. Tesanovic playing defense.
Tesanovic holding on. I think he might know there's not a lot of time in the round. I just have to hold on, but that's a good move. Trying to spin out the back door, but Bernhard not having it.
One hook in now by Mike Bernhard.
Both hooks in.
Flattening out his man in the dying seconds of round number 2. Bernhard looking to finish. He will not have enough time. We will go to a third and final round.
This beautiful left hand by Tesanovic right here. Beautiful shot. And then toward the end of the round, Bernhard finally able to get that takedown with this beautiful outside trip. And at the end of the round, going for the rear naked, got both hooks in, got that arm underneath. But you see Tesanovic is all right here. He's not struggling that hard. I think he knew there wasn't any time left.
Fighter, you ready? Fighter, you ready? Fight!
Our third and final round of this Bellator special feature fight in the middleweight division. Mike Bernhard is in the white trunks. The Serbian, Dragan Tesanovic, making his US and Bellator debut, is in the black trunks. Jimmy, how do you have this scored?
I have it all tied up. 19 apiece. I gave that last round to Tesanovic. The point is, will the judges give Bernhard the last round based on that last minute, last 30 seconds where he stole back the round? I thought Tesanovic did damage throughout the fight. I thought he controlled most of the round, but judges may see that last 30 seconds and give it to Bernhard. You never know.
A very bad mouse is forming and forming rapidly under the left eye of Mike Bernhard. That eye is closing quickly.
You know, two close, very close rounds, I think so. Oh, good uppercut.
Clipping left hand. Tesanovic.
Tesanovic just a little tighter, a little crisper with his punches. Throwing in bunches, combinations. A little more accurate. Now the question remains, who's going to turn it up in this round? See if they can seal this round and the fight. Because who knows, it could be 2 rounds to nothing either way. Very close rounds.
Tesanovic is a sharp puncher. He's not a powerful puncher, he's a sharp puncher.
No, he's not. He doesn't have a lot of KO power, but accurate. He'll sting you. His kicks have a lot of power. But I think he's hesitant to throw them now. Does not want to get taken down and lose a round based on the wrestling and grappling strength of Mike Bernhard.
Tesanovic not going after that left eye of Bernhard. Surprisingly so. Tesanovic missing with that left hand.
I think a problem that Tesanovic is having is he's done so well off of the offense of Bernhard. Bernhard's come in and he's been able to land those hands based on his counterpunching ability. But in this round, Bernhard isn't really going after him. He's not giving him the openings he was giving him in the first 2 rounds.
Referee Troy Waugh just warning Dragan Tesanovic not to keep his hands open when he throws a punch. Close his hands, while warning him about sticking the fingers out when he throws the punch. That was the issue in round number 2.
Certainly was.
Leg kick by Bernhard. Step in right hand by Mike Bernhard.
And we'll have to see, can Tesanovic's offense work when Bernhard is not being offensive?
There's a nice straight left hand by the Serbian.
2 minutes left in this fight. We'll have to see who can turn it up. Tesanovic has to, I think, let it hang out just a little bit. He has to turn it up enough to seal this round in the eyes of the judges. That's not an easy thing to do.
Another low kick by Bernhard. Tesanovic seeming unfazed.
Especially when you've been so successful with your counterpunching. It's hard to then change it up and get offensive. I think maybe Bernhard's corner told him, hey, let him come to you. 1:30, 90 seconds left.
Work, gentlemen, work.
Call for action by referee Troy Waugh. Step in right hand, missing badly by Bernhard. Again, Tesanovic trying to slowly walk down his man.
This round, Bernhard being a little bit busier.
Here come the boos, Jimmy.
And I understand them, but you know, it's one thing, if you're in his corner, it's not a matter of there's not enough action. You got to be screaming at your guy going, hey, this fight is very, very close. Both guys are fighting as though they are ahead on the scorecards. I think that's a bad idea. This is a very close fight.
Into the final minute, final round of this bout. Do you think the boos are warranted?
Well, you know, you're here to entertain people. If they're not being entertained, they're going to boo. That's pretty much the way it goes. I'm not saying whether they're warranted or not. I generally don't boo guys, period. I certainly don't do it.
Then again, you're a professional fighter.
There you go. I just don't. I respect the sport. I don't like booing people.
I think it's the tentativeness of both fighters on the feet here in round 3 that's really getting this reaction from the crowd. They want more action in the stand-up.
Right, like I'm saying, it's not even the crowd shouldn't urging these guys on. These guys should earn themselves on. It's a very close fight. You don't want to lose the decision based on the fact that you didn't pull the trigger.
Fight, knee by Tesanovic, the bell, the end of the bout. When we return, we will learn the winner of this Bellator special feature fight in the middleweight division. It's either going to be Mike Bernhard or the Serbian Dragan Tesanovic.
We'll see some of that action, most of it in the second round. Nice offense, starting to get a home for that left hand was Tesanovic. Takedown at the end of the second round, almost finished it with a rear naked choke, saved by the bell. Not as much action in that third round, a little bit of a flurry at the end, but very hard third round to score.
Jimmy, on your unofficial scorecard.
Well, I would give that last round to Bernhard. I give it 29-28 to Mike Bernhard, but very close very close all 3 rounds. I'll see how the judges see it.
To end all suspense, here again is Michael Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance inside the Bellator cage, we will go to your judges' scorecards. Judge John Rupert scores about 30-27, while judges Hector Gomez and Tim Vanata both scored about 29-28, all for the winner by unanimous decision, Mike El Gringo Diablo Bernhard.
He was confident, Jimmy, and now he's victorious. Unanimous decision win for Mike Bernhard.
I think he had every right to be confident. He fought like he had something to prove. That third round, like I said, it was just, I thought it was a little busier, threw a little bit more punches, and that's all that mattered. That little bit of edge gave him the fight.
The winner, by way of unanimous decision, Mike Bernhard, now 9-2 in his career as he defeats Dragan Tesanovic.
Up next, the greatest pound-for-pound fighter in women's MMA faces the toughest test of her career. Undefeated sensation Megumi Fujii battles explosive striker Zoila Warrior Princess Frausto for the Bellator Women's World Championship. You're watching Bellator 34.
Here in Bellator's final event of 2010, Alexander Shlemenko versus the champion Hector Lombard for Bellator's 185-pound world title. We are now set for the fight that will crown Bellator's first ever female world champion, the final of Bellator's women's 115-pound tournament, Zoila Frausto versus Megumi Fujii.
Megumi Fujii, what can you say about someone who is 22-0 in MMA but unstoppable? Zoila Frausto says, I'm here to make history. Let's see if she can do it.
And now your first fighter set and ready to make her way to the cage fighting. Out of the red corner, this is Zoila Warrior Princess Frausto.
Zoila Warrior Princess Frausto stands poised on the edge of greatness, but from the vantage point of an underdog as she stares across the cage at the greatest female fighter in the world. It's a position that Zoila is familiar with.
I came to this tournament, you know, as the underdog. I made my way through by knocking out Rosie Sexton, and I got past the first round, the second round, and now here I am. You know, I'm at the finals, and again, I'm the underdog. A lot of people expect me to lose, but that's fine. You know, no pressure on me. I go in there and do what I do best, and I take home my belt.
At Bellator 23, Zoila would deliver one of the year's most shocking upsets, knocking out the top-ranked and heavily favored Rosie Sexton to win her spot in the women's 115-pound tournament.
It was the best feeling by far in my MMA career. To be able to pull off a win like that, you just can't measure that to anything else that you do in life.
After beginning her career at 135 pounds, the challenge would be for Zoila to drop a significant amount of weight and still fight at her fullest capacity.
I had to drop 32 pounds in a little over 3 weeks. Being a woman, it's not that easy, and My body did not agree with that.
While the weight cut would be difficult, it would not stop Zoila in the quarterfinals as she dominated previously undefeated Jessica Penne. However, in the semifinals, Zoila had difficulty making weight, which had her considering a somewhat drastic decision.
I was prepared to do whatever I had to get that weight off. I knew I had nothing left, so I was prepared to just, chop my hair off. It wasn't just that, but I was seriously going crazy.
After finally making weight, Zoila battled tooth and nail with Jessica Aguilar to win a very close decision.
Oh, good right hand.
Returning home after that fight, she went right back to the gym and focused on the next and toughest challenge.
I barely squeaked out of that fight, but I do believe I won. For this fight, I've prepared myself 100%, and I've been able to keep my weight down, so I feel a lot more confident.
Now facing undefeated Megumi Fujii, Zoila is on a mission not just to capture the world title, but also to solidify her legacy in the sport and prove she's never to be counted out.
The saying goes, to be the best, you have to beat the best, and that's what I plan on doing tonight.
Zoila Frausto reached the final of Bellator's women's 115-pound tournament by defeating Jessica Penne by unanimous decision in the quarterfinals on August 19th, and then by defeating Jessica Aguilar by split decision in the semifinals on September 30th.
This is her time. Megumi Fujii, the greatest pound-for-pound female mixed martial artist in the world, undefeated. 22 victories, 18 submissions, the most dominant fighter in the world, male or female.
I fight by learning to overcome my weaknesses.
When other little girls her age were playing with dolls, Megumi was learning the ropes from her father, who was her personal judo sensei.
It was just what we did in my family. My father started to teach me my techniques at a very young age.
Now, the Japanese sensation looks to add the Bellator World Championship to her resume. But in order for her to gain the title, she must get past the larger, more powerful Zoila Warrior Princess Frausto.
I'm not scared of her striking. I'm scared of her physical strength. I know Zoila is physically bigger than me, so I need to think about how to control those differences.
Not only does Fujii want to bring the Bellator World Championship back to Japan for herself, but for all of those that have supported her in her lifelong pursuit of combat sports supremacy.
Becoming champion would be one of the biggest points in my career. If I win, I can finally pay back my family and friends who have supported me throughout the years.
With her sights firmly set on capturing the title, Fujii wants to use her time in the spotlight to inspire other girls with the hunger to compete.
I want to create a path for all the younger generations of female fighters.
This is her time. Tonight, Megumi Fujii looks to solidify her legacy as the greatest female fighter on the planet against the most dangerous striker in the division. As confident as she is dominant, Mega Magoo plans on doing what she always does: win.
I fight like every fight is my last. I'm going to give it everything I've got.
The past is the past. Say what you want about her poor performance against Jessica Aguilar. Zoila Frausto is in the finals and is coming in with a lot of confidence. She has put the semifinals behind her and is ready to make history. Fujii will stalk Frausto. Jessica Aguilar won the kickboxing battle against Zoila Frausto by staying in her face. Fujii and Josh Barnett have been working on that kind of up-close, in-your-face style. She needs to implement it in order to be successful. The big question, can Zoila stay off the ground? This is key. Zoila has shown excellent takedown defense, but Fujii showed her ground dominance against the very well-rounded Lisa Ward. Zoila has to stay on her feet to have a chance here.
From Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Bellator Fighting Championships along with FullTiltPoker.net. Learn, chat, and play with the pros and Everlast. What do you fight for? Tonight here at Bellator 34, now present 5 5-minute rounds for the women's 115-pound Bellator World Championship. And now introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. She wears the black and pink at 5'5", weighing in at 114.5 pounds. With 2 decision victories in the tournament, the Taekwondo black belt and Muay Thai striker stands with 9 wins, a single defeat, with 1 victory by knockout, 2 of those victories by submission. Representing Team JG MMA from Madera, California, now fighting out of Cincinnati, Ohio, the first tournament finalist, Zoila Warrior Princess Frausto. And across the cage, her adversary, fighting out of the blue corner. She wears the white and pink at 5'3", weighing in at 113.5 pounds. With 2 tournament submissions, both by way of armbar. Tonight, the catch wrestler with a background in Sambo, Judo, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brings an unheard of, undefeated professional record of 22-0, with 1 victory by knockout, 18 by way of submission. Representing Team AACC, she is, pound for pound, the world's best female fighter from Okayama, Japan, tournament finalist, Megumi Fujii. And the referee for this contest, Frank Gentile.
Okay, this is a world title fight. I expect you guys to listen to my commands, okay, and keep it clean. Are there any questions over here? Any questions here? Let's just touch them up and do it.
Tonight's 2 Bellator world title fights are under the unified rules of combat. They're scheduled for 5 5-minute rounds. Elbows to the head are allowed, both standing and on the ground, and there is no kicking or kneeing the head of a grounded opponent. This, the final of Bellator's women's 115-pound tournament. The winner will become Bellator's first ever women's MMA champion, the bell in round number 1. Zoila Frausto is in the black and pink. Megumi Fujii is in the white and pink. Frank Gentile is the referee.
Zoila squatting so low. You see her stance about as low as she can get and still throw strikes. She's thinking takedown defense from the start.
A kick by Fujii. Definitely blocked by Zoila Frausto, who began Taekwondo at the age of 11. Fujii began Judo at the age of 3. The rank of black belts, both Judo and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Fujii, 36, Jimmy, did not start in this sport until she was 30 years old.
Oh, I like the way she's angling, trying to come in, throw that left hand. Zoila said, I like that she's a southpaw, lets me throw my right hand right down the pipe.
Frausto, 10 years younger than her opponent, age 26, has been training in mixed martial arts for 4 years.
That's funny, Megumi has her against the cage, you see here, but not trying to come in and clinch and get the takedown yet. It's a little bit surprising. She wants to stay outside and bang a little bit. One of the problems she had against Jessica Aguilar is that Zoila Frausto falls in love with that right hand. You see her throw it all the time. It's easy to see. She doesn't set it up very much with her lead hand. She needs to do that if it's going to be successful. She has to mix it up. Just that right hand by itself, it's just too slow. It's too easy to see.
Flipping right hand on the inside by Frausto. Zoila Frausto was very clear and definitive in our fighter meeting with her 2 nights ago. She said, I want to keep this fight standing. If I find myself on the ground, I'm going to try to do my best to power up and get back to my feet. Body kick by Frausto.
And she throws a lot of power shots, but Megumi's defense right now holding up. Oh, good right hand. I'm sorry, left hand.
It was the left hand. Frausto down and right back up. Fujii did not pounce.
That's surprising. Not used to southpaws. That power shot is the left hand. Fujii now trying to close. This was the pressure I was talking about. All Josh Barnett and Fujii talked about in our fighter meeting was staying in her face, not letting her off the hook, just like Jessica Aguilar did.
Zoila Frausto normally walks around at between 145 and 150 pounds. Megumi Fujii walks around at about 118 pounds.
Even for a man, that's a ridiculous weight cut, and for women, it's so much harder to cut that weight. You know, the water stored in the muscle tissue, men have 33% more muscle tissue on average, and so much easier for them to weight, and that's a big weight cut for a dude. You see here, Frausto throws a lot. She throws the right, she throws the kick, but she doesn't have a wide variety of strikes. She really loves that power shot.
Fujii missing with that kick. So far, all stand up. And Fujii, 22 fights in pro MMA, 22 wins, 18 of those victories either by submission or technical submission.
Another good short left hand by Fujii. You hear George Gurgel saying power punches, and I got to disagree with him. She's throwing a lot of power punches, but Fujii is seeing all of them. She's just not setting it up effectively.
Straight left hand by Fujii. Outside kick by Megumi Fujii. Frausto missing with that right hand as she stepped forward.
Another point is it's very tiring throwing that right hand over and over.
This with the head kick by Zoila Frausto. Final minute of round number 1.
See those little angles by Megumi Fujii. She does that really well. She moves left and right very quickly. Little bounce in her step makes her a hard target. Not moving her head quite enough, but you see, she can see those right hands coming.
Again, Frausto missing with that big right hand. Frausto very pleased that since defeating in the semifinal round of this women's 115-pound tournament for Bellator, Jessica Aguilar on September 30th, her weight did not get above 125 pounds. Big head kick in the right hand, and Frausto steps forward.
Fujii might be hurt. She is backing up. I don't know if she'll have time to finish it. We'll have to see. She's in big trouble.
Of round 1.
Wow. Almost a huge upset at the end of that first round. Started with this head kick. Bang. And then Zoila Frausto all over Megumi Fujii, moving backwards. And you see the physical dominance of Zoila Frausto once she gets in range, throwing all kinds of strikes. Man, Megumi was lucky to get out of that first round.
Round number 2, again scheduled for 5 5-minute rounds. This, the championship bout of Bellator's inaugural women's tournament, contested at 115 pounds. The winner will be Bellator's women's world champion at 115 pounds. Jimmy, let's take a look at your scorecard.
She took the last 30 seconds. I don't think it was enough to win back the fight, in my opinion. I give it 10-9 Fujii. I thought she controlled the entire fight. I thought she landed that the entire round. I thought she landed that left hand very effectively, did more damage. Frausto just won that last 30 seconds. But hey, it's easy to steal rounds, so let's see if the judges agree.
Zoila Frausto is in the black and pink. Megumi Fujii is in the white and pink.
It's very important right now. The big question is, how much was Fujii hurt? How much did she get back?
The great heavyweight, Josh Barnett, former UFC heavyweight champion, the trainer, the coach of Megumi Fujii between rounds 1 and 2, Jimmy, he told his fighter no more low kicks.
You see here the Fujii going back to what she was doing in that first round, keeping pressure on Frausto and angling. And Frausto, I think, realizes that kick is going to be more effective than the hands. That right hand just hasn't really landed effectively. Lead rights are hard to use, even against a southpaw. Got to set it up with that lead hook, throw some feints, throw something else to get Fujii off her game. One problem, one thing I'm seeing that I don't like from Fujii is she has her hands very low, kind of sticking her chin out.
Zoila Frausto told us that she believed coming to this fight that Megumi Fujii had never really been punched hard in MMA. She's now been kicked hard in MMA.
Certainly been kicked hard. Now, what's surprising me are things like that. She's catching that kick, but not going in for the takedown. Seems content to stand and bang.
Straight left hand by Fujii. Frausto just missing with that right hand as she stepped in.
Against Jessica Penne, she used a lot of dirty boxing. She doesn't seem to want to get that close to Fujii. Doesn't want to get in there with a judo black belt and tie her up.
Fighters moving side to side. Frausto, as she did for much of round number 1 here in round number 2, fighting with her back just against the Bellator cage fence.
But Fujii seems content to stand and kickbox. Not shooting in even though Frausto's back is against the cage.
Push left hand there by Fujii.
I think they might be saving those takedowns for the 3rd round into the deep water when she gets a little more tired, then spend some energy looking for the takedown. Jessica Penning went for a lot of clinches and takedowns, and her fight against Zoila Frausto was not successful, burned a lot of energy.
Frausto just missing with the overhand left. Fujii slowly trying to walk down Frausto.
Looks like the plan is to spend at least the first couple rounds kickboxing for Fujii.
I know Frausto wants to get off of that right hand, get off of that head kick. Tried to throw the right there, couldn't do so.
Frausto, we saw against Jessica Aguilar, doesn't wear damage that well. We can see it here, her face is swollen, lips are bleeding. Can't tell if the nose is bleeding from here, but she shows damage.
The right hand by Zoila Frausto.
You see in boxing, certain fighters swell up and bleed easily, and it's hard for the judges not to take that into consideration.
Final minute of round number 2.
Zoila steps out a little bit, but then is content to keep this position with her back to the fence.
Fujii just missing with the left. Body kick by Frausto, partially caught by Fujii. We'll see if Frausto tries to explode with her strikes at the end of round 2 as she did Jimmy at the end of round number 1.
Yeah, trying to steal the last 30 seconds of the round, 20 seconds left.
Low kick by Frausto.
I'm surprised Fujii doesn't mix it up. Maybe look for a takedown to try and ice the end of the round, but wants to kickbox.
Round number 2 coming to a close. We will go to round number 3.
Ease your mind. Breathe. Breathe. Relax your mind. Spit. Relax your mind. Relax your mind.
Far more level changes when you're striking in there.
Takedown, okay? I want her Kawhi takedown, okay? Breathe. Relax. Okay, doing well. You're doing great, okay? Use that footwork, focus. She always throws 2 punches, then stops. Remember that. Get her to throw the 2 punches, then counter. Then use a tackle or clinch. I want her to Kawhi takedown, okay? No takedown, okay. I want no kick. Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Check this out. Mouthpiece.
Yes.
Let's go.
Sugoi, Megu-chan.
A look into the corner of Megumi Fujii with her trainer and coach, Josh Barnett.
Stay back to the corner.
Zoila Frausto also has an outstanding trainer and coach. Her boyfriend as well, George Gurgel, UFC and Strikeforce veteran. A lot of talent in the 2 corners, a lot of talent in the cage right now. Round number 3.
Josh Barnett said in between rounds she throws 2 and then she stops. I agree, she's not throwing a lot of combinations, not a lot of punches and bunches. It's pretty much that 1-2.
The winner will be crowned Bellator's inaugural female MMA champion. This contested at 115 pounds. Zoila Frausto is in the black and pink. Megumi Fujii is in the white and pink. Jimmy, as always, you have the unofficial scorecard.
Well, I have it 2 rounds to none. I gave that last round 10-9 to Megumi Fujii. 20-18 so far.
Seventh time in Zoila Frausto's pro MMA career that she has gone past 2 rounds. This is her 11th pro MMA fight, the 23rd pro MMA fight for Megumi Fujii. Jimmy, just the 3rd time that she has gone past 2 rounds.
That is amazing considering how many times she has fought. But, with Josh Barnett, I don't think conditioning is going to be an issue.
About 85% of this fight has been contested in this area. That portion of the cage, Frausto with her back against the Bellator cage fence, moving side to side. Fujii trying to slowly walk down her bigger opponent.
A problem Zoila might have is that if this goes the distance, a big criteria in the judging is cage generalship, ring control, who's dictating where the fight goes. And she's had her back to the fence this entire fight. Fujii looks like the aggressor. I think she's been a little more accurate and done a little more damage as well, but even if it were equal, Fujii looks like the one who's pushing Zoila around, or at least deciding where the fight goes, and that is so important.
Frausto said to us in her fighter meeting, quote, "I have to knock out Fujii to win." She just, for some reason, did not think that if it went all 5 rounds in 25 minutes, that she would get the favorable end of the decision.
That's a strange comment, because against Jesse Aguilar, she certainly did.
Coming up after this fight, our second world title fight of the night here at Bellator 34. This for Bellator's 185-pound world title. Alexander Shlemenko versus the champion Hector Lombard.
Crowd's starting to get a little restless here. I think just about everyone is surprised. Oh, good right hand. Now it's Fujii up against the cage.
The left eye of Megumi Fujii is starting to close. And Frausto letting go with some big right hands.
But this time, plenty of time left in the round, 2 minutes.
Frausto just missing with that head kick.
And Fujii not going in for a takedown. Content to stand here. I have no idea why. It looks like Frausto would be right for a takedown, but Fujii not going for that.
Now it's Zoila Frausto trying to walk down Megumi Fujii. Frausto landing with the left. Frausto missing with that stepping right.
Well, you think we'd see, and that's a bad habit Fujii has, is reaching for that leg kick.
Haymaker right by Frausto, just missed over the top. She throws that right hand, Jimmy, with some very bad intentions.
She certainly does. I'm just amazed that even when Frausto's coming in, throwing punches, Fujii doesn't change her level and go for a takedown. That's where she has the advantage, is on the ground.
Frausto missing with that low kick. Fujii stepping forward with the combination. And again, it's Zoila Frausto, not walking down her smaller opponent, not fighting in the center of the Bellator cage, but essentially with her back against the Bellator cage fence. Now stepping out a little forward.
I think she's worried about the takedown, but she does well when she moves in just like this. And yet she's not doing it very often, but she is pouring it on now. Fujii is taking a lot of damage. This is what Fujii cannot do. She cannot trade punches with Zoila Frausto. Frausto is just too big, too strong.
Frausto clearly has the heavier hands. And that is a bad mouse under the left eye of Megumi Fujii.
Now Fujii showing the damage from this round. Zoila Frausto making a big statement in this round number 3.
And we are headed to round number 4.
Frausto being much more aggressive in that 3rd round, backing up Fujii, throwing that right hand with abandon. You see here, overhand lefts. Fujii on her heels, moving backwards. When she's able to use her physical gifts, when she's able to use her strength, when she's able to get Fujii moving backwards, she does very, very well.
Heading into round number 4. One of these two fighters will emerge from this bout as Bellator's first ever female champion. This, the final of Bellator's women's 115-pound tournament. And here is round number 4, the first time either fighter has gone past 3 rounds in their respective MMA careers. Jimmy, on your unofficial scorecard.
Well, I gave that last round to Zoila Frausto, 29-28 Fujii so far.
Zoila Frausto is in the black and pink. Megumi Fujii is in the white and pink. Virtually all stand up thus far in this bout. Jimmy, are you surprised that we're into round number 4?
I'm surprised by a lot of the aspects of this fight. I'm not surprised we're in the deep water. I'm not surprised we're late into this fight. What has surprised me is Fujii has been totally disinterested in the takedown. That has surprised me. She's engaged in a kickboxing battle with a very hard puncher. I thought she would maybe do it for a round or two, throw Frausto off, and maybe then go for the takedown, but she seems content to kickbox. That is really surprising me.
Sharp left hand there by Frausto. Fujii trying to get off with her left, and a miss right to the body by Zoila Frausto.
You know, we heard Barnett say this is a kickboxing match. You need to take her down. So far, she's going back to the same. I think Barnett's seeing what we're seeing, that hey, when she gets moving forward and using those hard punches and Megumi's backpedaling, it's very, very dangerous. Why play this game if you don't have to? And yeah, Frausto's been very hard to take down, but got to give it a shot. Got to see if you can mix it up.
Fujii again trying to establish the left hand. Haymaker right hand misses by Frausto.
What's important to keep in mind is Jessica Aguilar, on my scorecard, won a kickboxing match with Zoila Frausto 2 out of 3 rounds and lost a lopsided split decision. So you can't trust that things are going to work out your way if this goes 5 rounds. Especially all on the feet, where it's been closely contested.
Fujii missing with that left.
She gets on top, works some ground and pound. She can maybe put some rounds in the bank, but right now she is not doing that. That's shocking to me. Once again, hands going down, looking for that kick.
Another low kick by Frausto.
You can see low, low, high. That's what a good kickboxer does. Good left hand.
The left and the right to follow, just missed. Another low kick by Frausto. That found the mark.
Fujii's angling seems to fall apart when she's under attack. She does well when she's attacking. She angles well. But when Frausto moves forward, Fujii goes straight back with her hands down. Her angling just seems to fall apart when she's under attack.
Step in left again by Megumi Fujii.
And I think Fujii has won the majority of this round now. Now finally a clinch.
The clinch, will the takedown follow?
Crowd is cheering. They know how good Fujii is from the clinch with her judo, with her groundwork.
Knees by Megumi Fujii. Knees to the midsection.
Frausto so strong. We saw her basically throw Jessica Penne around in this position.
Now Fujii kneeing the inside of the thigh and a knee to the stomach.
She has a double underhooks, that body lock. Being very patient here, not really trying any inside or outside trips. Not going for any throws yet. But now Frausto has that underhook. I think she's strong enough to pull out of this position.
And again, Fujii's first combat sport was judo, so she has more trips and throws than conventional takedowns.
A ton.
Nice knee to the head, another knee. That second knee went right into the left eye of Zoila Frausto. Final minute of round 4. Body lock held by Fujii. Now let's her hands go.
Frausto putting a lot of pressure on Fujii here. And she's throwing, but she's not throwing a whole lot. This is where Fujii took down Lisa Ward last time. Up against the cage in the clinch. Now Frausto able to pull out of the throw.
Fujii went for the head and arm throw, could not get it. Frausto circling to her right. Dying seconds of round number 4. And we will head to a 5th and final round.
Breathe. You want 4 rounds. All you gotta do is not be put away. You want all 4 rounds. You want, maybe not, you want 3. For sure. You won 3 rounds. You lost, maybe you lost this last one.
It's close, but it's close. Okay?
It's very close. You got to suck it down deep, Zoila. There's 1 more round.
Hey.
Do you understand what I'm saying, babe?
Don't lay it on the line. This is the 5th round, Zoila.
Slow your mind. 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 Now I want you pushing forward because you haven't been pushing forward. You understand me? I want you touch her. Don't load it. Touch her with your punches. You're hurting her. Touch her with your punches.
Just land, Zoila.
Land all you gotta do is land. You win this fight. All you gotta do is she's gonna take you down. She's gonna try. Stay low and fight right by me. Do you understand me? Fight by me. It's the last round for the World Championship.
We are heading into our 5th and final round. The winner will become Bellator's female champion at 115 pounds. Zoila Frausto is in the black and pink. Megumi Fujii is in the white and pink. Round 5.
Come on, come on, come on.
Fujii speaks no English. The referee saying, come up and touch gloves. She does not know what he's talking about. She speaks very little English. Now, in between rounds, George Gurgel said something that, I agreed with half of what he said. He said, move forward and touch her. He said, move forward and touch her. Stop loading up that right hand. I totally agree with that. He said, move forward. You're doing that very well. I agree with that. But he said, you've won all 4 rounds. I disagree with that. My scorecard says 3 rounds to 1. I only gave Zoila Frausto that 3rd round. Yes, the rounds have been very close, but she can't go out thinking she has an insurmountable lead right now. She cannot do that. 1 or 2 rounds could have gone either way, but to think that she has an insurmountable lead is a big mistake. I think both fighters think they need to win this round in order to be secure here.
Round number 5 is a great and a rare thing in MMA. And how rare is a round number 5 in women's MMA?
I would say it separates the men from the boys, but that makes no sense here in this context. The girls from the women, I guess.
And neither fighter has ever gone past 3 rounds in their pro MMA career.
The story of the stand-up has been Fujii's been a little bit more accurate, landing that left hand. She's been more aggressive. She's kept Zoila against the fence, but Zoila has done well in flurries. She's done well landing big shots and following up. She hasn't been consistently successful. That's why I've given Fujii 3 out of 4 rounds, but some judges like power more. So it depends on how the judges see it. I would not say this is in the books for anybody.
Virtually all stand up in this bout. Round number 4, Fujii going for a head and arm throw, and Frausto just simply powering out.
Fujii's cut looks like over, I would say, the left eye. It's hard to tell. It's obscured a little bit by her hair from our vantage point. There's definitely some blood running down her face on the left side. Got to be from those right hands. You see Zoila trying to time that left hook when Fujii comes in.
Fujii definitely has a bad mouse under her left eye. Frausto is cut in her lips. Straight right hand by Zoila Frausto.
And Fujii just having no success with that takedown.
Nice left hand by Fujii as she stepped forward.
Good body shot by Frausto in return.
Missing with the left to the body.
Now, Frausto doing what she has done all 5 rounds. I think she's finding maybe a little bit more success in those later rounds as Fujii's slowing down. She can't read the punches.
Mouse under the left eye of Zoila Frausto starting to look a little worse now here in round 5.
Fujii doesn't keep her hands very high. She relies on her ability to read punches and move her head. And as you get tired, that gets harder to do. And both these ladies are battered to death.
Neither fighter's left eye looks particularly good here in this 5th and final round. Fujii going for the single leg.
And Frausto just fighting that takedown so hard. Looking at the time, only 1:15 left. Fujii going over the top with the left hand. We've seen it over and over, Sean. 5th round, 3rd round, the final round of any fight. The one who thinks they're ahead a lot of time takes their foot off the gas. The one who doesn't fights with a sense of urgency. I'm not saying she thinks she's behind, but it looks like Fujii fighting with a little more sense of urgency, even though I have her ahead on my scorecard.
Well, now into the 25th and final minute of this fight. A lot of blood from the lips of Zoila Frausto.
Finally with the takedown. This crowd going ballistic, but 30 seconds left. Yeah, she's outclassed on the ground, but she knows enough to hold a tight guard and wait for the bell.
Tight low guard indeed held by Zoila Frausto. Remember, Frausto told us in our fighter meeting she thought that her only way to win was by knockout. There will not be a knockout. There will not be a submission. This fight will be determined by the 3 state of Florida judges' scorecards.
It's up to them now. We've got to see what happens.
The bell, the end of a tremendous championship fight.
Unbelievable. We'll have to see, did Zoila Frausto make history, or does history continue with Megumi Fujii?
When we return, we will learn who is Bellator's first female champion. Zoila Frausto or Megumi Fujii? Jimmy, on your unofficial scorecard.
I have it 4 rounds to 1 for Zoila Frausto, but a lot of those rounds could have gone either way. I would not want to be a judge in this fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the decision, we'll go to your judges' scorecards. Judge Hector Gomez scores the fight 48-47, seeing the fight for Frausto. Your second judge, John Rupert, scores the bout 48-47, seeing the fight for Fujii. Your third and final judge, Rich Green, scores the bout 49-46 for the winner by split decision. And now the new women's 115-pound Bellator World Champion, Zoila Warrior Princess Frausto.
Zoila, you said you were here to make history tonight, to beat the unbeatable fighter, and you did it. An amazing performance. Just tell me how you feel right now.
It's the best feeling in the world. A lot of people said I couldn't do it, and I've been through so much. I deserve this spot. I worked so hard, and I got the Lord to thank.
Bjorn, she's what Bellator's all about. You like taking fighters, making them warriors, making them champions. She went down that road.
Zoila, you are everything Bellator is all about. We gave a world-class fighter an opportunity, and you won our world title. Congratulations. Spectacular performance.
Megumi Fujii, the greatest streak in the history of mixed martial arts. Ladies and gentlemen, give her a hand. 22 victories in a row. A very hard fight tonight. I know you must be disappointed, but tell me how you feel. Tell me how you thought the fight went.
この試合はどういうふうに戦ったか感想を聞かせてください。
そうですね。彼女の得意な分野で私も戦いたかったので、ちょっと打撃が多くなってしまったんですけれども、自分のベストを尽くせたと思います。すごく良かった。
I wanted to fight in her area, so I did a lot of my striking, but I did my best.
You may be a fighter from Japan coming in here to the United States to fight, but I know you have a home here with this Florida crowd. They were behind you from start to finish. You've earned everyone's respect. Thank you very much.
日本から来て試合をしてたんですけれども、このフロリダのみんなは藤井さんのホームみたいなのをみんなが応援してくれていました。
Thank you very much, Fuji. We'll see you again. Thank you.
With that victory, Zoila Frausto wins Bellator's women's 115-pound tournament and becomes Bellator's first ever female world champion. Zoila Frausto also furthers her claim as the top pound-for-pound fighter in all of women's mixed martial arts. Megumi Fujii, 22 consecutive victories, and the disappointment at suffering her first defeat. Zoila Frausto, now 10-1 in her pro MMA career, and she can call herself champion of the world.
When we return, Bellator middleweight champion Hector Lombard looks to continue his path of destruction as the judo Olympian collides with fellow knockout artist Alexander Shlemenko in the first defense of his world title. This is Bellator.
Welcome back live to Bellator 34 from the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida, Bellator's final event of 2010. We are now set for tonight's Bellator World Middleweight title bout. Alexander Shlemenko versus the champion, Hector Lombard.
Oh, this has fireworks written all over it. It's the fight the crowd is waiting to see.
And now the first fighter set and ready to make his way to the cage, fighting out of the red corner, Alexander "Storm" Shlemenko.
Alexander Shlemenko, 30 victories, 19 knockouts, Bellator Season 2 champion, and one of the most dangerous middleweights on the planet.
Growing up where I did in Russia, you had a choice. You can either become a criminal or an athlete. Fighting became a way of life.
Making his professional fighting debut at just 19 years old, the punishing kickboxer quickly established himself among the best fighting products ever to come out of Russia.
I fought hundreds of fights in many different disciplines. It was clear that fighting was my ticket to success.
In 2010, Shlemenko entered the talent-stacked Bellator Season 2 middleweight tournament as a mystery to many. But the 26-year-old proved he was a force to be reckoned with. He showed impressive victories over Matt Major and Season 1 middleweight title challenger Jared Hess.
Fighting and winning in America made me realize how far I have come.
Shlemenko!
The unorthodox and explosive striker would then go on to meet tournament favorite Brian the Beast Baker in the championship finals. Shlemenko proved who the true beast was that night, completely dominating the experienced MMA veteran to gain the championship title.
TKO win for Alexander Shlemenko!
Coming off of the biggest victory of his career, Shlemenko is eager to continue his rise in the middleweight ranks. But first, he must get past one of the most intimidating champions the sport has ever seen, Hector Lombard, Bellator World Middleweight Champion, and the hardest-hitting middleweight in the business.
I have prepared myself to win this fight because I want to be a champion of the world.
Alexander Shlemenko defeated Brian Baker by first-round TKO on June 24th to win Bellator Season 2 middleweight tournament. Shlemenko enters tonight having won 15 of his last 16 bouts. Hector Lombard is making the first defense of his Bellator World Middleweight Championship. Lombard is unbeaten in his last 20 fights.
Born in Cuba, Hector Lombard has been a champion as far back as he can recall. First discovering judo at age 12, Lombard racked up a slew of national championships before earning his spot in the 2000 Olympic Games.
When I was a kid, I was very, very talented. I was beating people 20, 22 years, guys that were really winning in the Olympics, and I was only 15.
Lombard then made the transition from world-class level judo to mixed martial arts. It was at this point that the judo and jiu-jitsu black belt first began to blend his elite level of grappling with the sweet science of boxing. The results were devastating.
I always like to punch, and I say, wow, this is my strength. This is what I'm good at.
Displaying the same natural ability in boxing as he had in judo, Lombard began a path of destruction with his fists, compiling an unbeaten streak that currently stretches 20 fights, a path that led him to be the Bellator World Middleweight Champion.
When the Bellator belt it was a payoff for all my sacrifice and all my hard training. It was kind of like I accomplished something that I always wanted, to be a champion.
Returning to the Bellator cage in 2010, Lombard's mission was simple. Send a message to the rest of the middleweight division, first with a brutal and stunning 6-second KO of UFC veteran Jay Silva.
Game, set, match, Hector Lombard in a Mike Tyson-like performance.
And then at Bellator 24, it took just 38 seconds to dispatch battle-tested former NFL running back Whisper Goodman.
I would say that, when you KO somebody that quick, there's no excuses. They can say whatever they want to say, got surprised, got it with a lucky shot. It wasn't any lucky shot. You go for it, it's not lucky. Lucky is when you find a wallet in the street.
But Lombard isn't content with being considered the most devastating knockout artist in MMA and one of the most feared champions in the sport. He hungers for a test he should find in his first title defense against tenacious Russian striker and Season 2 middleweight tournament champion, Alexander "Storm" Shlemenko.
I won't make any comments about him. I like to do my talking inside the cage. Everybody got their game plans. Everybody stuff before they get hit. When the fight come over, we find out.
Bully the bully. Lombard is the Mike Tyson of the middleweight division. Shlemenko has to be Buster Douglas. He can't trade punches, but he has to let him know he's not intimidated. Will we see Lombard's ground game? He's a black belt in judo and BJJ, has great ground and pound. Will he take Shlemenko down and press that advantage? Trick or treat, Shlemenko. I've talked to some of his sparring partners. They say how tricky he is, how unorthodox he is. He needs to stay that way to offset the punching power of Hector Lombard.
Bellator Fighting Championships and FullTiltPoker.net. Learn, chat, and play with the pros tonight from Bellator 34 here at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. Now present 5 5-minute rounds for the Bellator World Middleweight Championship. And now introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, he wears the black at 5'11", weighing in at 184 3/4 pounds. The Russian Army combat-trained striker brings a veteran professional record with 30 victories, 19 by knockout, 4 by way of submission against 4 defeats. Training out of Saturn and representing Rus fighters, the Bellator Season 2 middleweight tournament champion from Omsk, Russia, introducing the challenger, Alexander "Storm" Shlemenko. And across the cage, his adversary fighting out of the blue corner. He wears the white trimmed in black at 5'9", weighing in at 183 1/4 pounds. In Bellator Season 1, he captured the title with 3 straight wins by TKO. Tonight, the Cuban judo Olympian, as a freestyle fighter, enters the cage with 26 victories, 14 by knockout, 6 by submission against 2 defeats with 1 draw and 1 no contest. Widely recognized to be one of the top middleweights in the world today, by way of Queensland, Australia, fighting out of American top team, Coconut Creek, Florida, presenting the defending Bellator World Middleweight Champion, Hector Lombard. And inside the cage, the referee in charge of the action, Troy Waugh.
Gentlemen, we all know the rules. I want a good, clean fight. I will not tolerate anything less. Let's touch gloves, go back to your corner. Let's get ready to rock and roll.
This for Bellator's World Middleweight Championship. Alexander Shlemenko is in the black trunks. The champion, Hector Lombard, is in the white trunks. Troy Waugh is the referee, scheduled for 5 5-minute rounds.
Judge, are you ready? Judge, are you ready? Judge, are you ready? Fight, are you ready?
Are you ready? And he charged out, ready to go.
You ready? Fight!
Why am I not surprised?
Round number 1.
I think I know the strategy here. Hector Lombard is moving forward, punching.
Shlemenko opens with a head kick. Lombard swinging and winging early.
And
Knee
he's
by
looking for
Shlemenko.
a first-round knockout. Shlemenko has to survive the early storm.
Lombard going for the judo throw. Couldn't find it. Bouncing the step of the Russian Alexander Shlemenko.
He likes those tight inside punches. A cut on the top of Hector Lombard's head. Might have come from a headbutt. Their heads were very close together. Good right hand.
Cut is in the hairline. Big left punches. Left-handed punches. Spinning back fist by Shlemenko, and he pays the price.
That uppercut is there all day. And there's the takedown.
Takedown from the body lock by Hector Lombard. Close guard by Alexander Shlemenko.
Oh, that's a big elbow. Hector Lombard so short, so powerful on the ground. Shlemenko trying to lock up the triangle, but no luck with that. Saw a lot of blood on Shlemenko's stomach. I'm not quite sure who it's from. I think it's from the head of Hector Lombard. And Hector just all over Shlemenko here.
Shlemenko back to his feet, throwing the backwards elbow.
The question here is, how long can Lombard keep this pace? I know he's in great shape, but it's been a while since we've seen Hector Lombard go for more than a minute.
Get a lot of bounce in the step of Alexander Shlemenko.
There better be a lot of bounce in his step. He's got to keep moving.
Lombard walking forward, and again, bleeding from the cut in his hairline. Body kick, cut, and the takedown by Lombard, closed down again by Shlemenko.
And I think this is where Lombard has a distinct advantages on the ground. Not only with his judo and his jiu-jitsu, but his ground and pound.
Watch the thumb, Hector. Watch the fingers in the eyes, Hector.
Lombard, for good reason, has been seen as of late as a pure striker and knockout puncher in MMA. But again, he played judo for Cuba at the 2000 Olympic Games and is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Under Marcus Conan Silveira, an American top team. Phenomenal jiu-jitsu coach, but good sweep by Shlemenko.
Top position by Alexander Shlemenko and looking for the rear naked choke.
Now he's going for the arm.
Close guard again by Alexander Shlemenko.
Lombard just
straight armbar.
Lombard just moving too well.
Punches nicely blocked by Shlemenko. Shlemenko said one of his keys to victory, keep his hands high.
See a nice knot over the right eye of Shlemenko.
Keeping his hands high means on the feet and on the ground.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where you are. No one can eat many of those shots.
That is a big knot above the right eye of Shlemenko.
I give him credit. He is hanging tough, trying to stay defensive on the ground. Big key to this fight is dragging Hector Lombard into the deep water, frustrating him for at least that first couple rounds and seeing if you can get something done in the third, fourth, fifth round.
Another big elbow strike by Lombard.
Man, you can hear that head just thudding off the ground.
Very low close guard held by Shlemenko, below the waistline of Hector Lombard.
It's more of a sweeper's guard. Hard to get submissions there. You need to walk your legs up to get a lot of submissions. Usually guys are looking for a sweep or they're looking to do that. Put their foot on the hip and stand up and have their guard that low.
Left hand to the jaw by Lombard. Final minute of round number one. Shlemenko now walking up his guard, repositions. Another short elbow by Lombard.
There's a time when having a short, stocky build hurts you, and there are times it helps you. On top, with ground and pound, it helps you. You can throw punches and not leave a whole lot behind.
Shlemenko now holding his man chest to chest. There will be no wipeout victory for Hector Lombard in round number one in this fight. Lombard, though, in a dominant position at the moment.
Watch the top of the head.
Closing seconds of round number one of this title bout, and we are headed to round number two.
Tell him to watch the elbows on the top of the head, hitting the top of the head. Then, sir, listen, right here.
Hector, watch your
fingers around the eyeballs, okay?
I want you, listen to me. I want you to breathe it. I want you to breathe it. You have the fight. Listen to fight. You have the fight. It's yours. Breathe inside. Listen to me. Breathe the fight. Relax. Okay? I don't want you to say anything. Breathe in. Relax. Relax. You have your back. Your back. With your back. Let me have a little bit.
Bellator middleweight Brian Baker watching. watching cage side here at Bellator 34 at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida. Accompanied by his trainer and mentor, Thomas Wildman Denny.
Back up.
Baker is the man that Shlemenko defeated in the championship bouts of Bellator's Season 2 middleweight tournament to earn the right to face the champion in this bout tonight, Hector Lombard. Shlemenko is in the black trunks, Lombard is in the white trunks. Spinning back kick and then the takedown.
The problem is Hector closes distance so effectively. If you spin, you turn, he is all over you. He doesn't sit back and wait. He doesn't pull back off the spinning moves. He goes in, which is what you're supposed to do. He does it very well.
3 judges scoring cage side from the state of Florida. Jimmy, you have the unofficial scorecard.
But 10-9 Hector Lombard. He certainly won that first round. I wouldn't call it a 10-8 just because they're so incredibly rare in MMA. I would say 10-9 Hector Lombard. I always wonder what it's like to be a referee. Shlemenko speaks no English. He does not know what you are saying. So you're saying let go of the fence. He doesn't know what you're talking about. Not an easy thing to do.
Troy Watt had to slap the glove, and then Shlemenko took the hint.
Yeah, and then he gets it. And a lot of physical cues.
Shlemenko has told us that he wants to represent pure strikers in mixed martial arts.
Whoa, nice
head kick. Push kick, nearly caught by Lombard, then he pushes his way forward.
Well, the thing is, there are no such thing as pure strikers in MMA. You have to know at least enough to survive, and Shlemenko certainly does.
Lombard making that takedown look fairly routine. Closed guard by the Russian Alexander Shlemenko. Again, in round number 1, Lombard cut in the hairline, and a huge knot forming over the right eye of Alexander Shlemenko. That knot is not going away.
And it's like a bullseye. I mean, Hector Lombard knows it's there. He's going to target it. Do everything he can to make that thing swell and get worse and worse and worse.
2 fighters who have combined for 57 career pro MMA wins.
Or roughly half of what Jeremy Horn has won in his career. That's so many in MMA. So many. 20, 30 fights apiece. That's incredible.
Shlemenko repositioning his ankles and keeping that low sweeper's guard below the waistline of Hector Lombard. Lombard posturing up on the knees, looking for punching distance.
Work your position. Prove your position.
It's a nice short left hand by Lombard.
You know, Shlemenko has gone further than any of Hector Lombard's Bellator opponents in 2010. He's not the kind of guy who's going to take a lot of comfort in that. He's here to win. He's not here to hang on and just have a moral victory. He really wants this belt. He wants to win, and that may sound normal, but a lot of guys we see, Sean, don't. They want to make a statement or kind of just do better, but they don't necessarily have the drive to face a guy like Hector Lombard. And Shlemenko certainly does.
For such a flashy style, Lombard really has a workman's-like approach that I truly respect in MMA. You said a win is a win. I like knockouts, I like submissions. I just want to win. I don't care how. Decision is fine with me.
Shlemenko doing a good job of getting back to his feet.
And again, that takedown. Lombard again getting the back of Alexander Shlemenko. Good uppercut with the right hand by Hector Lombard.
Shlemenko likes turning his back, but he does it very quickly. Tries to get back to his feet before Hector can take him down again. Or, I'm sorry, before he can sink his hooks in.
Body lock held by Lombard. Lombard telling us that he absolutely never trains judo anymore, but he still puts on the gi 3 to 4 times a week to train his Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Body kick by Shlemenko.
Oh, good right hand. And one thing you cannot question here is Shlemenko's chin or heart. He's taken some very hard shots, Sean.
Lombard continuing to walk forward. That knot getting bigger and bigger over the right eye on the forehead of Alexander Shlemenko. And again, the takedown, the double leg by Lombard. He's making those takedowns look less than difficult.
No, he certainly is, and it's that physical power. Once he gets in and gets a hold of you, he's just so physically dominant and takes you down every single time.
Shlemenko from flat on his back trying to throw the left hand. Make no mistake, Shlemenko feels that his chance to win this fight is standing and standing alone. Throwing his punches, his elbows, his kicks, and his knees.
If you think about it, if you got the perfect triangle, how hard it would be to hold on someone as powerful as Hector Lombard.
We are headed to round 3.
Sente aqui, sente aqui, sente aqui. Mira-me e eu quero que tu respire. Respira um pouco. Aí, aqui, tá de volta. Respira comigo, por favor. Necesito que eu quis dizer, dá isso.
We are headed into round number 3 of this Bellator World Middleweight title fight. Alexander Shlemenko versus that man, the champion Hector Lombard.
Go ahead and step out.
In between rounds, the ringside physician taking a close look at Alexander Shlemenko. I think he's all right so far.
Back up. Time. Neutral
They'll
corner.
only let you take so much.
Sir,
Time called by referee Troy Waugh.
Don't know what they're calling time for.
It's for the doctor, Jimmy.
Doctor comes in again.
Looking at that knot on the forehead above the right eye of Alexander Shlemenko.
That's strange. He looked at it in the corner in between rounds. Referee just wants another look at it.
Back up. Okay.
Neither one of these guys wants to back up at all.
Time in, the bell, round 3. Shlemenko in the black trunks, Lombard in the white trunks.
Shlemenko, another good right hand.
Shlemenko takes steps backwards now in a defensive posture. Jimmy, how do you have this scored?
Oh, good spinning back. It's 2 rounds to none. Hector Lombard. The only question is whether or not a judge would see any of those last 2 rounds as 10-8s. But definitely Hector Lombard ahead, 2 rounds to none.
This is the 9th time in Alexander Shlemenko's career that he has gone past 2 rounds, and the 10th time in Hector Lombard's career that he has gone past 2 rounds.
Russian fighters typically so well conditioned.
Knee by Shlemenko. The quote of the year in our Bellator fighter meetings, the first time we had Alexander Shlemenko, the quarterfinal round of Bellator's Season 2 middleweight tournament.
Oh, good takedown.
Through his Russian translator, he said, "My knees are a gift from God." And he believed it too. Still does.
He does have very powerful knees. The problem is that to be in the clinch with Hector Lombard is very difficult. He has great throws, great takedowns. Do you want to get in that kind of range with him? And he's very hard to catch coming in because he moves forward very quickly off very powerful punches.
Shlemenko now in the open guard.
Alex, Nigola.
Closed guard again, a low closed guard held by Shlemenko.
Rewind to the first season of Bellator against Jared Hess. In the late round, into the 4th round, Hector Lombard looked fresh, still doing damage, still punishing. He keeps the pressure on.
Watch the fingers.
Obviously, Shlemenko has a better chance dragging into the late rounds, but so far, Hector looks to be in good shape.
Gentlemen, let's work.
Shlemenko looking to the referee, Troy Waugh. Again, Shlemenko speaks no English. Waugh speaks no Russian, but Shlemenko, I believe, claiming that he was thumbed or fingered in the eye by Hector Lombard.
It may be that or maybe inactivity. He may be looking at the ref going, hey, nothing's going on. Let's stand us up.
Not on top of the head. Ready? Fight!
Centering restart. Shlemenko right now where he wants to be on his feet. Quite possibly Lombard wants to be on his feet as well. But clearly Lombard getting the better of things on the ground in this fight. Another knee by Shlemenko. Shlemenko missing badly with that right hand to the body. Then landing the kick.
Good level change by Hector Lombard.
Another takedown cool as you like by Hector Lombard.
Well, he's making him pay for those kicks. You can hear the thud. Twice he's landed nice rib kicks against Hector Lombard, but both times he's been taken down off of him.
Jimmy, if you were in the corner of Alexander Shlemenko, what would you want him to do in this position?
In this position, he needs to get back to his feet. I don't see him catching Hector Lombard in a submission. He's got an angle, put his feet on his hips, get some space, cage walk, get your back to the cage and get back on your feet. That's his best shot. He did a good job in the first couple rounds scrambling and getting back to his feet. Got to keep that strategy going.
Lombard posturing up on his left knee. Now on both feet. Again, Lombard looking for punching distance. Body head with the right hand by Lombard. Again, Shlemenko closes guard.
Improve your position, gentlemen. Improve your position.
Minute 15 of this fight. Again, scheduled for 5 5-minute rounds.
Crowd's starting to get a little restless here. But also the style of Shlemenko seems to be tie him up, get it back to the feet.
Not enough action for referee Troy Ross, so the stand-up. Spinning back kick, and that landed by Shlemenko.
It didn't even slow Hector down. He took a shot, just kept on walking.
Lombard didn't even wince. Another takedown by Lombard. Jimmy, for me, that's the story of the fight. The ease in which Lombard is taking down Shlemenko.
Certainly beautiful throw there.
Closing seconds of round number 3. We're headed to deep water in round number 4. To the surprise, Jimmy, of perhaps many, we are headed to round number 4 of this Bellator World Middleweight title fight. Alexander Shlemenko versus the champion Hector Lombard. I don't think Shlemenko is surprised that we're going to round number 4.
I'm not that surprised either. This is a tough dude. He's taking a serious beating, but he's still right in the fight. That's a warrior, Sean. That really is.
Keep in mind, Shlemenko did not come here for moral victories.
Yeah, he did not. That's an important thing to keep in mind.
Alexander Shlemenko is in the black trunks. Bellator's reigning world champion at 185 pounds. Hector Lombard is in the white trunks. Jimmy, on your scorecard.
3 rounds to none for Hector Lombard. 30-27. Once again, only question is, can you give any of those 10-8?
Shlemenko landing a kick there. Lombard just not bothered by the kicks. Push kick there. Lombard just missing with the right hand.
You know those sides of beef in the Rocky movie? That's what his ribs look like from here. It looks like beef that should be hanging in a slaughterhouse or something. Now, you'd hit that all day, it would make absolutely no difference.
That's well said. Shlemenko just missing with that spinning back kick. Lombard catching that kick. And again, the takedown. And again, a low close guard by Alexander Shlemenko. So in round 3, Jimmy, I asked you about what you would say to Shlemenko if you were in his corner. For Lombard, he's continually in this position in this fight. What would you be saying to Lombard if you were in his corner?
Do what you're doing. You're winning. You're up 3 rounds to none. Keep doing what you're doing. Maybe try and pass a little bit more. Try and get in a dominant position. He's having trouble landing great ground and pound from the closed guard. Try and pass, maybe get to half guard and really lay it on this guy. But once again, I don't know what he's been doing in training. That is huge. I have no idea what they've been working on in camp. Those are the things you do during the fight.
Lombard really talks about a champion being made in training. That talent only gets you so far in this sport and indeed in life. Lombard telling us in his fighter meeting that he is always training, and he's always training the same way, whether he's getting ready for a fight or whether he doesn't have anything scheduled.
No, he's a gym rat. He's a gym rat. He's in the gym every day. He told us I'm always in there working out. He's one of those guys, I'm sure if you go to ATT any day of the week, you're going to find Hector Lombard doing something.
Another knee by Shlemenko, another knee by Shlemenko. Sprawl, but still the takedown by Lombard.
I'm really impressed with Hector's level change. Now, it's here when he's been behind Shlemenko that he's had a little bit of trouble. He doesn't want to commit to put the hooks in. Has one in now.
Now thinking about the rear naked choke. Thought about it briefly and decided against it.
Shlemenko standing up. Now he has 2 hooks. Lets it go.
In a suplex position. Lombard may go for an outside trip. And that's just what he would look to do.
The problem with the suplex, it takes a lot of energy. It's great, crowd loves it. It takes a lot of energy to lift a guy up and drop him.
This is the 3rd time that Alexander Shlemenko
beautiful throw
has gone past 3 rounds.
Shlemenko's so good with that technique. He rolls to his stomach, gets on all fours, and is able to power back to his feet. That's surprising.
Lombard, of course, winning this Bellator World Title 185 pounds in round number 4 when he defeated Jared Hess. That was by way of doctor stoppage TKO. Blood again flowing. That cut in the hairline of Hector Lombard that opened up in the early stages of round 1.
They're right in front of us here. Another takedown for Hector Lombard. Shlemenko just can't get that clinch game going. He can't get a consistent plumb and be able to throw the knees, because every time he does, Hector Lombard pushes right forward and takes him down.
Final minute of round 4.
Shlemenko looking at the referee like, hey, he's not doing anything. Stand us up. Well, I think that's what he's saying. I don't know. Body language tells me that he's looking at the ref going, hey, nothing's happening. Stand it up.
Review position, both of you, show.
Call to improve the position for both fighters by referee Troy Watt.
For Shlemenko, it's virtually impossible to improve this position. It's really hard, unless you have great jiu-jitsu.
Dying seconds of round 4. We are headed to a 5th and final round. This is the 35th Pro MMA fight for Alexander Shlemenko and the 31st Pro MMA fight for Hector Lombard. The first time that either man will go into round 5 in professional mixed martial arts.
Hector Lombard is a champion, and this is the round where champions are made.
Round number 5 of this Bellator World Middleweight title bout. Alexander Shlemenko is in the black trunks. Hector Lombard, the champion, making his first title defense, is in the white trunks. And again, time called before the start of round 5. The ringside physician looking into the ear of Alexander Shlemenko. Jimmy, I've been around this sport a long time. I've been around boxing a long time. I've never seen a ringside or cage-side physician look in a fighter's ear during a bout.
I'm curious about, I don't know exactly what he would be looking for. Maybe some kind of problem with the jaw that's going back. That's all I can think of that he'd be checking for. Back there would be a broken jaw, bleeding in the ear.
In this 5th and final round, Jimmy, how do you have it scored?
4 rounds to none for Hector Lombard, 40-36. Could call a couple of those 10-8s. Shlemenko still throwing back in this 5th round.
Shlemenko landing on the inside.
He's letting it all hang out. I like that attitude.
Lombard could not get the takedown there.
And make no mistake, he's getting dominated in this fight. Shlemenko came to fight. He's not resting, waiting for the bell to say I went the distance with Hector Lombard. He is here to fight. He's been frustrated by the ground game, the top control of Hector Lombard. This is what he wants. He wants to finish this fight on his feet. He wants a knockout if he can get it. Yes, 3 minutes, 55 seconds to do it.
Shlemenko putting a lot of grunts behind those punches, missing with that kick. Lombard is standing there in the center of the cage for Shlemenko. Shlemenko just cannot land his power shots. It's not as though Lombard's an elusive target right now.
No, he isn't. But he doesn't want to open himself up.
That's a big spinning back fist. Lombard again trying to slowly walk down his man. Shlemenko moving to his right, missing with that left hand. That big knot on the forehead over the right eye of Alexander Shlemenko has not really turned out to be a problem in this fight.
This is where Hector has been so successful on top. Shlemenko turtling up every time, though.
That's been the problem for Alexander Shlemenko in this fight, Jimmy, the takedown game of Hector Lombard.
You know, what it does is it hasn't given Shlemenko the opportunity to figure out the timing of Hector Lombard. He's the kind of guy who wanted to catch him coming in, catch him with the knees, but they'd strike just enough for him to get beaten up, and then he would take Shlemenko down. Shlemenko hasn't figured out really Hector's timing. He hasn't had time for it.
Calling in for action by referee Troy Waugh.
Let's go, gentlemen, let's work.
Lombard just holding the position. Knee to the rib cage. And again, the center ring restart on the stand-up. Shlemenko.
Nice combination.
1-2 on the inside, then missing with the head kick. More aggression, though, from the Russian. Sprawl that time by Shlemenko. Knee by Alexander Shlemenko.
Let go of the fence. Let go of the fence. Let go of the fence. There.
Lombard again holding the waist cinch.
Shlemenko finally figuring out how to land some decent strikes against Hector Lombard in this 5th and final round.
Body lock now held by the former Cuban judo Olympian Hector Lombard. Shlemenko holding his own body lock, but that's defensively. Lombard's offensive body lock is still being held. Shlemenko again gesturing to referee Troy Waugh. And that's what Shlemenko wanted. 25th and final minute of this Bellator World Title fight in the middleweight division.
Shlemenko's got to leave it all on the line. 40 seconds left. See if he can be a world champion. So far, he has been dominated by Hector Lombard, but there's no quit in this fighter.
Shlemenko trying to be busier, throwing the knee. Lombard again looking for the takedown, could not get it there. Beautifully done on the trip. This fight will go the distance. All 5 rounds will be completed. The bell, the end of the bout. When we return, we will learn the winner of this Bellator World Middleweight Title fight, Alexander Shlemenko versus Hector Lombard. The final fight in Bellator in 2010 goes the distance. Alexander Shlemenko versus the champion Hector Lombard. Jimmy, on your scorecard.
I only gave Alexander Shlemenko that last round. The total for me, 49-46. Hector Lombard. We'll have to see if the judges agree.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this world title contest, we'll go to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges, Rich Green, Tim Bonata, and John Rupert, all scored the bout exactly the same at 49-46. All for the winner by unanimous decision. And still, the Bellator World Middleweight Champion, Hector Lombard.
I'm here with your middleweight champion, Hector Lombard. Those 4th and 5th rounds, the championship rounds, you fought like a champion tonight. He was not going anywhere. He was tough that whole fight.
First of all, I want to say thanks to God to keep me safe. And you already Bellator to put out the fight. All my fans here, thank you so much for the support.
Were you surprised at all? You landed some vicious shots in those first 3-4 rounds. Shlemenko in that 5th round, still coming at you, still wanted to bang. Were you surprised he took that much damage?
Yeah, I wasn't surprised at all. I know he's a tough guy. I don't gonna make excuses. I don't feel 100%, but I still got the win, so I'm happy with it.
Bjorn, Hector Lombard all season, nothing short of dominant. You got to make him one of the top middleweights in the world. Must be so proud to have him once again as the Bellator champion.
Very, very proud to have Hector Lombard as our middleweight champion. Congratulations.
Hey, let's give a big hand from this South Florida crowd for Hector Lombard, ladies and gentlemen.
I want Jacare. I want your belt. Jacare.
Got you, buddy.
With that victory, Hector Lombard successfully defends his Bellator World Middleweight Championship for the first time and increases his unbeaten streak to 21 straight fights.